A massive explosion at Shahid Raje port in Bandar Abbas, southern Iran, has killed 28 people and injured almost 1,000. Thick smoke billowed from the site, and authorities believe the explosion may have been caused by chemicals stored at the port, though the exact cause remains unknown. 6 people are still missing, and firefighters are battling the blaze, which is made harder by strong winds. The National Iranian Oil Refining and Distribution Company clarified that the blast wasn't linked to any fuel tanks, refineries or pipelines under their operation in the area. According to state media, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is traveling to the site of the deadly port blast in the country's south. The explosion caused widespread damage, with debris scattered over a large area. Buildings at the port were badly damaged, and windows several kilometers away were shattered. Some people are reported to be trapped under the collapsed buildings. Iranian authorities have declared a state of emergency due to rising air pollution. Ali M. Abushbak, independent Palestinian researcher, is joining us live from Cairo. Thank you for speaking with NewsX World today. What do you make of this blast, Ali? What do you attribute it to?
Thank you for having me. The thing says, if you the Iranian explosion, it's coming to the screen or to the reminder about the Lebanon explosion in 2020, which all the accusation left to the Hezbollah, the Iranian agency in the area. So that the news report confirmed that it's about a chemical and some explosion element in the port, while Iran is still deny. I mean about the things. I mean the significant reason about leading the explosion. Yesterday also or today morning, Israel released a statement denying their responsibility about the explosion. As we think, as we remember that Israel has a long history with the Iranian with Iranian assassination. Like 2021, they killed the Iranian scholar, nuclear scholar. In 2021, and also hacked the central computer in Iranian lab in 2021 and 2022. So the thing is here a bit complicated, yet it's not clear. But most of the accusation that related, I mean, it's a parallel to the Beirut explosion in 2022, and what we have witnessing also, there is a statement from the guard, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. He spoke to the Washington Post, confirmed that there is some element used for the missile, maybe they stored in this port. The catastrophe which happening, more than 70 persons have been killed and more than 700 people they are injured during the explosion. And also Saudi Arabia sent their condolence to Iran, and as well as UAE, United Arab Emirates, also sent their condolence to the Iran. The time of the explosion, it's a bit serious during the second phase of negotiation with America in Oman, which representing there is, according to news media report, there is a progress in this negotiation. And the atmosphere is a positive, but we are witnessing, I guess this is an internal explosion. And according to the one of the security guard in the Revolutionary Guard, he confirmed that this explosion because of the missile fuel that's used for missile. Iran as well as confirmed that there is no issue with the oil pipeline in Hormuz.
Yes, Ali, do you believe that this is something though that merits a wider probe? Do you believe there is something fishy here? Do you believe there is more than what meets the eye?
Definitely, as I mentioned, in 2020, also Hezbollah used the port in Beirut as a store to its explosion element and material, which resulted to kill hundreds of people and intensive explosion. So the same things, the same things with the Shahid Raja'i port in Iran. Maybe they use it as a store for the explosion missile and explosion material for missile. The thing is, Iran acting as an unresponsible for the catastrophe of people, for the grief of people. So the thing is here, it's not, in my opinion, it's not related to nuclear weapon, but it's the things about the store. This is the behavior of Iran, and as well as there is there is a character, example like what happened with Hezbollah in 2022. Yeah.
All right, Ali, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that story. Meanwhile, 9 people have been killed when a driver plowed into a crowd at a Filipino cultural celebration in Vancouver. Police in the Canadian city say that, of course, this deadly incident unfolded on Saturday night when a man drove an SUV through a crowd at the Filipino community's Lapu-Lapu Day festival. The attack occurred during the popular event, leaving 9 people confirmed dead and several others injured. Regional Health Authority Vancouver Coastal Health has confirmed a code orange mass casualty event. Witnesses describe the vehicle speeding through a street lined with food trucks and packed with festival goers. Let's listen in to what the police is saying on the incident.
Occurred, and what I can share with you at this point, and to be fair to the investigation, is that at approximately 8:14 p.m. a lone subject male with one vehicle drove through a crowded community event occurring near here. That male was taken into custody at the scene by the crowd. It was a Filipino community event. The crowd immediately called police. We then took custody of the subject, and he is now in our custody.
A 30-year-old Vancouver man is now in custody. Police have confirmed that the incident is not being treated as an act of terrorism. Local authorities are continuing to investigate the tragic event as the community comes to grips with the devastating loss. The incident has left the city in shock, with local leaders expressing condolences. Police say the suspect was known to them in certain circumstances, but details about his background are still unclear. A 24-hour assistance center has been set up to help reconnect families and friends. This is how the city councillor responded.
I don't even know what to say. This was a great day. Wonderful event. Huge community event. And to have it end in tragedy like this, it won't break us or the community, but
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, in fact, has expressed shock over the tragic events at Vancouver's Lapu-Lapu Day festival, sending his thoughts to the victims and the Filipino community. Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP, also extended his thoughts to the victims and their families. Prime Minister Mark Carney has expressed his devastation over the incident, offering his condolences to the victims' loved ones and to the Filipino-Canadian community. Keith Vaz, former British minister, is joining us live from London. Keith Vaz, what do you make of this tragedy in Vancouver?
Good afternoon, Uday from London. It is an absolute tragedy, as you said. I think that everyone in politics, and Canada faces a general election tomorrow, that's when the final day of voting is obviously shocked and devastated by what has occurred. What's clear from the police is that this was not an act of terrorism. They've made that very clear. It was a single man acting on his own who drove through and was involved in these activities. So I think what we need to do is to await the results of a investigation that is taking place. In the meantime, of course, not just the Filipino community, but also all of Canada will be being very cautious and very careful given the current political situation that is occurring. And there has to be obviously a thorough investigation. All the political leaders, as you've said, Uday, have condemned what has happened. and express their shock and horror. And at this moment in time, given the political situation, that is all anyone can ever say until that report comes out from the police. But it's obviously shocking that this has occurred. And it's not just the Canadians who are worried about this. I think that the Filipino community in particular, since it was a celebration of a local hero who fought against the Spanish in the 16th century, Lapu-Lapu, they obviously celebrate this day. It's very sacred and very special to them, so they must be devastated by what has happened. The only other bit of information we have is that this individual was known in some way to the police. So further information obviously will come out about that.
Yes, Keith Vaz, also as far as this incident is concerned, would you connect it to the, the Canadian elections? And as a fallout of it, do you believe security needs to be on a heightened alert, given the fact that voting day and results day is around the corner?
I think everyone is going to be very concerned about the climate. I cannot make that connection, and nobody is making that connection. To be fair to everybody, this is not a connection that anyone can make. And the police have been very clear that it is not connected, that this is an individual acting in a particular way who has done this. So I don't think that there's any question of this being in some way connected. But the fact is, it has happened the day before the election. It's happened in the city of Vancouver, in British Columbia, and so not the capital. And it's happened to a community that is not a large community. It's clearly a community of size, but not one of the largest communities in Canada. So we don't know why it's happened, but nobody at the moment is connecting it in any way to the very important election that's happening tomorrow. The opinion polls, as you know, Uday, suggest almost a dead heat. I think the Liberals are 5% ahead. It's very close, the election. Quite different from the situation like 2 months ago. So I think people are going to be watching that, but nobody's making this connection, and I don't think that we can do so, being so far away from what has happened.
All right, Keith Vaz, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that big story. In an intense operation aimed at dismantling terrorist infrastructure, authorities have bombed the house of another terrorist in Jammu and Kashmir. To date, security forces have demolished the houses of 9 terrorists across the region. The Indian Army remains on a high alert and is conducting multiple search operations to crack down and neutralize terrorists responsible for this attack. In addition, the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, has met with India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to brief him on the military's key decisions to counter Pakistan in the wake of the terror attack. Tensions along the line of control are also escalating as Pakistan continues to violate the ceasefire, with small arms firing reported from multiple Pakistani army posts in North Kashmir. Indian troops have responded appropriately. In his monthly address, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep anguish over the terrorist attack in Pahalgam. He described the attack as a clear sign of the frustration and cowardice of the masters of terror, obliquely referring to Pakistan. Meanwhile, FBI Director Kash Patel has strongly condemned the terrorist attack, calling it a stark reminder of the global threat posed by terrorism. Patel extended his condolences to the victims and pledged unwavering support to India in the wake of this tragedy. Major General Sanjay Meston, defense expert, is joining us live on the broadcast. Major General Meston, what do you make of the outpouring of global support for India in the fallout of this terror attack, and the latest, of course, being the US FBI Director Kash Patel?
Uday, good evening. I think remarks by Kash Patel and all the world leaders supporting India spells out one fact, that today the world realizes that the epicenter or the zero center of every terrorist activity emanates from Pakistan. And this is the realization. And they have also realized that Asif Muni's statement of two-nation theory and spreading hate in the subcontinent, on the lines of communal divide. Basically, he is trying to incite religious wars in the subcontinent, and especially within our country on the lines of Hindu-Muslim, that kind of hatred. I think the world has realized that either the world goes towards radicalism, fanaticism, or the world goes for mutual coexistence and peace and prosperity, which is the hallmark. And I think India today is such a great nation that we are developing so well. Our economy is now almost the 3rd largest economy in the world. and people from all communities have existed. Not only today, they have existed for more than 1,200 years before partition also. And today they are also existing together, and this is the hallmark of the spirit of India, which Prime Minister also remarked in his address. This is the true spirit of India. So the world leaders and even Kash Patel, everyone has today realized that the epicenter exists here, and therefore everyone condemns this form of terrorism, because whether it was Bin Laden or anything, even 9/11 was plotted, conceived, designed, everything, it was done here. So from here the tentacles spreading all over the world. And this is the only unique nation, Pakistan, an artificial nation, which has been created on two-nation theory on religious line. No nation in the world has been created on this theory of religion. You know, there were different reasons where nations have come about, but this is the only reason. And therefore, they have started spreading Islamic fundamentalism all over the world, jihadism, the concept of mujahids, everything has originated from here. So the realization is there now in the world, and either the world unites against this global terrorism, or the world continues to support Pakistan in some form or the way Americans had supported it earlier. That is their choice. But today the entire world needs to be united, and the good thing is, even the United Nations Security Council has condemned it. Countries like Iran,
yes,
everyone has dialed our Prime Minister.
Absolutely.
Except China.
Absolutely. It says a lot. But, just talking now, of course, about also the fact that so many houses of the terrorists have been razed to the ground as well across various districts of J&K in the last 24 to 48 hours. What is the message sent out through that, General Meston?
I think the message is very clear. See, even people in Jammu and Kashmir, they want peace and prosperity. The common man just wants to, earn his livelihood, look after his family. And this was evident even after the Pahalgam attack, the way Kashmiris had united. And, they were even helping out the tourists there. So some of them kept the tourists in their house after the attack. So this shows that the people of Kashmir, like other parts of India, they want peace, prosperity and development, which is the basics any citizen would desire. Now, who's brought this problem in Kashmir? Of course, Pakistan is the epicenter, but unfortunately, there are some sleeper cells, overground workers who are operating in unison with Pakistan. They are on the payrolls of Pakistan ISI. And therefore, it is a clear message to some of these, very few, sprinkling, these overground workers, that if they side with Pakistan, this would be the ultimate fate their families or their houses will meet. And I think this is also a deterrent to the others, so that a person who is residing in Kashmir takes a hard call whether he wants peace, prosperity and development. And when there is peace, prosperity and development, the tourists will come, there will be economic development, or whether they side with Pakistan terrorism, and where is radicalism going to take them? So this is a strong message to the locals that they should not indulge in this kind of radicalism, jihadism, under the pretext of, this Hindu-Muslim divide which Pakistan is trying to propagate. And we have to stand united. A united India is a disaster for Pakistan. And that is what we need to be very, very clear on that account.
Yes.
So this is what Pakistan wants. They want to divide India.
All right, Major General Meston, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on this big story. That's all the time we have for today. We will continue to bring you more news and updates from around the world. Stay tuned to NewsX World.